Man, it's your boy Spook. Kill 101. Damn. Goddamn, broke my neck trying to get in this motherfucker. About to trip. Trying to sit down, man. Man, it's your boy Spook, man. Kill 101, bro. We finna get back into another reaction video, bro. How y'all been, man? I've been good. I've been chilling. Lil' Kel. Trying to grind, man. That's all. And show some love on this YouTube, man. What we gonna watch today? Found it. Stop playing. But I'm trying to see what I can watch later. Okay, then let's watch this.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became movie.
I've been meaning to send my story in for a while now. I think every time I sit down to write it, my hands just hover over the keyboard, and I start questioning if it's even worth telling. But then I remember how I felt that night, that gnawing sensation deep in my gut, the way my skin prickled with adrenaline. And I figured, yeah, this does belong here, so I hope you guys enjoy my story. I've been a fan of Booze and Booze for around a year now, always looking forward to those late night uploads where I could turn the lights off, throw on my headphones, and let the stories wrap around me like a blanket.
Oh, bro. I feel you.
I never thought I'd have one to share, but this isn't just my story. It's something that happened to me and a coworker back when I was fresh out of high school, working late night shift at a home improvement store, a big one.
Home Depot looking like Lowe's. Shit.
I'm sure you can guess the name. Between the two of us, I think she got the worst of it. Back then, I was taking my first semester of college classes, scraping together tuition money by working at a regional hardware chain. It wasn't anything glamorous, running a register, handling inventory, mopping up whatever messes customers would leave behind, but it was pretty easy work. I liked most of my coworkers and the pay was decent, and most nights were uneventful. Keyword there being most nights. This one in particular was a pretty slow evening. Everyone was watching the clocks and none of them were moving. We were around an hour from closing. The store had that eerie, half-empty atmosphere that only big retail spaces get after dark. The lights above my head buzzed, casting this sick glow over the aisles, and the air smelled like sawdust and metal. The customers left in the building were the usual stragglers, contractors grabbing last-minute supplies, couples arguing over paint samples, that sort of thing. I was finishing up her return at customer service when she walked up to me. Let's call her Hannah. She was one of the newer hires, maybe a year or two older than me, and usually pretty upbeat. But that night she looked kind of different, tight-lipped, stiff-shouldered. Her eyes darted around like she was expecting something to lunge at her out from the shadows. "Hey," she said, low enough that I could only hear her. "Can you, walk with me for a little bit?"
Man, what the hell wrong with this girl, bitch? That bitch shaking that hurt. I ain't even gonna say it, bitch. But that bitch bouncing, bitch. What the hell wrong with her?
I raised an eyebrow. "What's up?" She swallowed and glanced over her shoulder. "I think I'm being followed." That snapped me to attention. She told me about this man, a big guy, older with a greasy baseball cap and a stare that...
Bruh, come on, bruh. Just sitting behind stalking. Like, what's up with all these stories where it's just a motherfucker stalking?
That made her skin crawl. He'd approached her in plumbing, asking her for her help to find a part. Nothing weird at first, but then he just didn't leave. Every time she tried to step away, he found another excuse to keep her there, his questions getting more off topic and more personal. Finally, she made up a reason to leave, and when she checked over her shoulder, he was still there watching her. That was 45 minutes ago. He followed her around the store, and eventually she lost him in power tools, then bolted to the nearest coworker for some kind of assistance. She didn't know where he was at now. I didn't ask any more questions. Hannah was obviously freaked out, and if there was even a chance that some creep was lurking about, I wasn't about to let her wander the store alone. Honestly, this was more exciting than anything work-related anyway, so I prefer to run interference than actually close the store. Come on, I said, grabbing a clipboard from the counter. Let's look busy. We made our way towards the back aisles, checking inventory, scanning shelves.
Fuck looking busy. We looking for the dude and we kicking him out immediately. Talking about look busy. Hey, bro, nah, bro, hey. You got to go, lil' bro. You following around my co-worker and she a female? So you just preying on little female and shit? Like, nah, bro, you got to go, bro. Beat him up in the stove if I got to.
Counting items. Occasionally, my eyes kept flicking up, sweeping the store, but I didn't see anybody out of place. Just a couple of customers near checkout. Donnie in a neon vest was restocking lumber, and one of my other friends was just dicking around on the forklift in the bay. Are you sure he's still even here? I whispered. Hannah hesitated. I don't know, he just... I just feel like he is. For some reason, I just didn't like that answer. We kept moving, aisle by aisle, her sticking close to my side. About 20 minutes later, she seemed to relax a little bit. We hadn't seen the guy at all, and she was starting to think that maybe he did indeed leave. This actually proved to be two birds with one stone because we got a lot of that light inventory work done. And then, that's when I saw him. I was standing near the aisle end cap, watching my buddy do...
Let's see what he did. Because when you saw him, did you approach him?
These slow, lazy donuts in the forklift out in lumber, shaking my head at his stupidity. Then I turned back to check on Hannah, only to spot him. He was lurking at the mouth of an aisle, half shielded by the end cap display.
This
Why he looking so shocked? Get on that.
is what the world's most advanced PC looks like.
Get on that, love.
It was a big man, mid-50s with a broad chest and slumped shoulders.
That boy said a big man. Okay. I see why you looking shocked. I see why you looking shocked. But I don't care. Mid-50s. Mid-50s? Boy, you better you better get down on that, boy.
Dressed in these dark jeans and a windbreaker. His baseball cap was pulled really low, but I could see the way he was looking at her. I could also see that this guy was jacked beneath that jacket. Even with the extra layer, his arms were 3 times the size of mine. He stared at Hannah, fixed, unblinking. I could tell his whole body was tense, like he was just waiting for the right moment to do something. This is not good. I forced my face into something neutral and walked back to Hannah.
You scary, bro. I don't care, bro. You still scary. It's one of him versus the whole store. We're not even gonna bring 911 up yet, cause y'all could have just called 911. But we're not gonna bring 911 up yet. Y'all could have just, hey, what are you doing, sir? If he would have caused the scene, then y'all got the whole store to back you up, bro.
Who was maybe 30 feet away, scanning a
I be forgetting it's that horror shit, but like, it just be making me mad. It just be making me mad.
shelf. I walked right by that weirdo, down the aisle, and put myself between her and the guy, watching from the end of the shelving. I kept my voice casual. Hey, let's head back to customer service. She frowned at me. What? Why?
He ain't even telling.
I stepped closer, lowering my voice. Because he's here, end of the aisle, watching you. Her face paled and I nodded at her, encouraging her that this was pretty serious. Just walk, I murmured. Now. She turned stiffly and started moving towards the front of the store, as quick as she could without actually running. I turned back to the aisle, ready for anything. To my relief, he wasn't right on top of me like I was expecting him to be. The man just hadn't moved. I stared him down, gripping my clipboard, fighting the urge to let my hands shake. Then I smiled, the way you do when you're trying to let somebody know that you're not afraid of them. You need any help finding anything, sir? His stare didn't even waver. I took a slow step toward him. We're closing soon, just so you know. His mouth then twitched, somewhere between a grimace and a sneer. I could tell he wanted to say something back to me, but then without a word, he turned and walked off, disappearing down the aisle. I stood there for a few seconds, forcing my breath to stay even, pulse pounding in my ears. I felt like a damn gunslinger. I was glad to have helped out a coworker. And then I went to go find Hannah. She was back at customer service, gripping the counter, body rigid. A small crowd of assistant managers had gathered around her. Is he gone? I hesitated. I don't know, I hope so. Jesus, she muttered, pressing her hands over her face. That guy's been watching me all night. Yeah, he's super creepy.
Yeah, you never called 911?
He didn't even say a word to me. We waited until the store officially closed, watching the last customers leave, making sure that he wasn't among them. I didn't see him again. Maybe he had in fact left. Maybe I spooked him. Either way, I was just relieved when we locked those doors. But that relief did not last long. An hour later, the store was empty except for a few employees. Most of us were already clocked out, trickling off to our cars. I stepped outside, the night air sharp and cold, the parking lot stretching dark and quiet around me. I glanced over and saw this single car parked at the far edge of the lot. All the employees parked on a small side lot, so whoever was out there was not an employee. I knew before I even got close. I walked slowly, trying to not look too obvious, heading toward my own car, but veering just enough to get a good look. A beat-up old sedan idling low, and inside, the same man. His face was barely visible in the dim glow of the dashboard lights, but he was just sitting there, waiting. A deep instinctual alarm flared up in my brain, every nerve firing off at once. Lizard brain, fight or flight.
Boy, running?
I turned on my heel and made a beeline back to the store. The security office for the strip mall was a few doors down, tucked in between a shuttered electronics store and a laundromat. I knocked on the glass and peered between the blinds. A guy in uniform answered me, maybe late 40s, heavy set, with a bored expression on his face. Something wrong? I jerked my thumb over my shoulder. Yeah, there's a guy parked in the lot. He was inside our store earlier, acting super weird and following my coworker around. Now he's just sitting there. The security guy frowned at me. He's still there now? Yeah, far into the lot, dark sedan. He grunted. All right, stay put. I stood there as he climbed into his marked SUV and rolled out into the lot, cruising slow towards that sedan. He stopped behind it and threw his lights on. I watched from a distance as he stepped out and approached the driver's side. A tense few seconds then passed, and then the guy in the sedan just fired up his engine. He didn't speed off though. He didn't make this big scene. He just pulled out, circled the lot, and then exited onto the road, slowly. As he passed me, he looked directly at me.
A peace plan for Gaza.
You trying to remember that face of that snitch.
A ceasefire in place, but Hamas is choosing terror and on a rampage. Mass executions of their own people in the street, random killings, repression. For peace, the Hamas reign of terror must end.
Ooh, what's up, everybody? It's me again, and you know, when you see one of these, well, it's upside down. Hold on.
Eyes locked onto mine, dark and bottomless. And I swear to God, I felt something press against my chest, something heavy, like he was willing me to die right there on the sidewalk, like he was memorizing me for later.
I just told you that.
Almost like he was telling me that he would see me again. I watched his taillights vanish off into the dark. My pulse was still hammering in my ears. I only realized that I'd been holding my breath when the security guy rolled back up beside me and leaned out his window. Yeah, that guy was definitely off, he said, shaking his head. Kept acting like he had some kind of business here, but wouldn't say what. Just kept asking when people left for the night. A chill then coiled up my spine. What'd you tell him? I told him to take a fucking hike, the guard said. And lucky for you, kid, he did. He eyed me for a second. You drive straight home, keep an eye out, and if you see him again, call somebody immediately.
Yeah.
I just nodded, trying to swallow that lump in my throat. Good call bringing it to us, he added. That guy wasn't just loitering, he was definitely waiting. I didn't ask what he meant, but I heard he knew. I hurriedly went back to my car, glancing over my shoulder the whole way, half expecting that old sedan to be idling at the end of the lot again, but it was gone.
Imagine if the dude just pull up, oh my god, out the window, he looking at you, and the security guard going home. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
The entire parking lot was now empty.
That boy getting murdered.
I locked my doors the second I got inside and just sat there gripping the wheel, forcing myself to catch my breath. Then I pulled out, making sure to check every mirror and every side street. I also took the long way home that night, just in case.
He followed you, okay then.
For the next few days, I was on edge. Every time I would walk to my car at night, after closing, I half expected to see that sedan parked somewhere in the lot again, headlights off, waiting. We started leaving work in pairs, sticking close to other coworkers. I even told my manager about the whole thing, and he had security do extra sweeps of the property every single night. Thankfully, that guy never came back. Poor Hannah was shaken for a while too. She completely switched up her schedule, so she wouldn't be working nights anymore, which I can't really blame her for. Some nights I wondered if that had been the plan all along, if he'd been waiting for her to leave alone, to see if she got in her car by herself.
He was.
I never ended up telling her what the security guy said. I didn't want to make her any more scared than she already was. I've actually sent a story into Booze and Booze before. Maybe some of you remember it. It was about my coworker Benji and this weird night shift incident that we had together.
Nah, that's for another video. Man, y'all like this video because I just like this shit. So like my video, man. I'm out, bro.